Hey everyone, welcome to another Paint with Rick. Today I'm going to do a landscape on the fly, okay? I'm going to start with, this is an oil brush, but I'm going to use it to get the landscape started, okay? With water, and I'm going to wet it in water. I'm doing acrylic. I mixed sap green and burnt umber, and I'm going to start with that. This is a good way to lay out your landscape here. Let's start with the low horizon. Just take your brush and stamp in a horizon here, okay? Straight across. Make sure you have a paper towel in your left hand. Now, let's wipe the brush off right now and take it underneath, and let's scum that in a little bit. Just scum the bottom of that out a little bit. Grab a little bit of water on your brush, and maybe let's create a few hills now. Just wet your brush and then pull down some hills. We'll keep this one straight back there. Okay, so we got a hill there coming across. It's just a good way to lay out your landscape. Okay, uh, let's grab some more color, and let's throw like some bushes right here. Take your brush and just pull underneath that and wet your brush a little, and just let the brush create something there. Okay, let's do something on the other side here. Maybe we got something right here coming forward like this, and then take your brush at the bottom and maybe pull it to the left. Get a little water on it so it just lightens it up a bit. Pull it to the left. Very good. Let's put something down here. Some dark color here, and pull underneath it. Wipe your brush off, get it wet. That look cool. You can create your landscape like this with just with a number 2 fan brush. Okay. Now let's lighten up the back here. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow and lighten up this back section here with yellow. Bring it forward. Get some more yellow. Let's do that over here too, right on the hill. Lighten up that hill up there. Maybe this side we want yellow ochre. Let's pull yellow ochre down on this side. Fill it in there. It's a good way to get your landscape started. You'll get some ideas too, you know. I don't have any blue out. You could make some water down in here if you wanted. We'll leave those spots white for now. Now I want to design maybe a hill in the back. So what I'm going to do is get some color on my brush and maybe put like some trees back here in the distance. And I'm going to wash my brush off now with water, and then pull that to the left. So we'll have some more, a hill back there. Let's do that on the other side as well. Maybe we'll come from here and just punch in some color randomly like this, and then pull that color to the right. Wipe your brush off and rinse it off in water. And let's pull that color to the right. Just like that. Let's get some, we'll let that dry a second, then we'll put some yellow. I think this side's dry enough. Lighten up that hill up there. So yeah, it looking pretty good. I'm just trying to lay it out. I mixed some burnt umber and blue, dark blue, and I made some gray. So I kind of want to put a mountain in here now. So let's just put a mountain back here in gray, just in gray. And right here at the bottom, let's wipe your brush off, rinse it off in water, and get a little titanium white on it now. And let's pull that white down at the bottom of the mountain. Okay. Wipe your brush off. Now let's just blend this in. Make that mountain down here a little lighter. Okay. Very good. I guess I'm going to have to get some blue out to do the sky. But you see how cool that's coming out? I'm not going to retap these trees yet till I get the sky in, but what I'm going to eventually do is reestablish all these trees, see? Once I get some color back there. Fix up all these bushes. Let me put a little blue out. I'll use a light blue. I'll use a light blue. What I'm going to do is use a big brush for now and put some gray up in there first. Maybe at the top. This brush was really wet. I just cleaned it. But let's just add dark. This will be the underpaint. It's a gray color. We'll let that dry for a second. While it's drying, we could put some snow on the mountain if you're in a hurry. That's what's good about acrylic. You can you let something dry and come back to it, okay? Let's put some snow up here. I'm just going to paint today. You can kind of watch and see how I design it on the fly. It's just acrylic paint, and you can kind of guess what kind of brushes I'm using here. Just putting snow up here. I'm going to grab a little of that light blue that I'm going to use on the sky. Put in a shade color here on the mountain. That's how easy it is. I mean, you know what, I just designed this on the fly, and now what you do is you just work with it, okay? Just start seeing things in here, okay? Let me wipe this down so it dries a little quicker. Maybe I'll take a paper towel and then I'll dab it. Maybe that'll dry quicker. That'll be our color for the blue. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. I can work on these bushes down here right now. Let's see. Let's make this one stand out a little better. Maybe this is going to be like a big bush that just comes out like this. Yeah. pull the bottom. Then we'll have a bush here. All right, let me put some blue up there now. Let me grab a bigger filbert brush. I don't know if this one's any good. Grab my soft one. I got so many brushes out now. Let's try this one. It's a soft acrylic. It's a flat brush. And I'm just going to wet it real quick in water. And then grab this light blue. It's actually called light ultramarine blue. And let's just fill the sky up with that. Light ultramarine blue. Just got to hold my easel. Really pressing some power in there. I'm getting down into the white where I didn't put any underpaint. You can notice a difference. See how it gets, where there's no underpaint, it gets lighter. So if you want the mood of your painting darker, you got to have some kind of dark underpaint underneath. You'll notice the difference. It might make your paintings come out better if you put a nice undercoat underneath. Let's try and get as close as we can to those mountains without touching them. And then we'll put some white clouds around there when we're done. There we go. Alright, so we got a cool sky going on up there. We'll do some clouds up there. Whoops. Let me see how this is turning out in the frame. Doesn't look too bad. I'm going to grab some color on my oil fan brush now, the number 2. And let's reestablish these trees up here. Okay. These are going to be trees up on a hill. Coming down. Okay. And just, you can either stamp them in or you can pull them up like this. Whatever style you do. So it gets some edges on the tree there. But somehow get some color up there. That looks cool. Alright, I want this just a little taller on the side here. Now wipe your brush off and at the bottom pull some of the color to the right. Might want to rinse it off with water. Try and get some of that dark color to run out over here. Might have to do it after I lighten it up, but see what I'm doing? Like creating more hills there. You see that? That looks wicked right there. I kind of like it. You can pull in further in places so it doesn't look so straight down, okay? Just dig into the bottom of the tree and then pull it out. Then you'll make it look more, not as straight, okay? Just work on it while it's wet. Let's do this side over here. We're going to have small trees down here at the base of the mountain. And then going up. And then trying not to cover the mountain. And there we go. Let's, I'm going to actually... make it a little higher here so it just doesn't look straight. All right, now let's clean your brush off this time, and now pull out some of this color to the left from the trees, and then you'll create some hills in there. You see that? Don't forget, these are going to be trees here, or bushes in the front. So, doesn't that look good? That looks pretty good. We're going to have a pathway come from way back there too, if I don't take too long. 15 minutes, look at that. Designing on a fly. So here I'm going to grab some more sap green and that brown color I mixed, and I'm going to redo the tops of these bushes here. Maybe these are going to be low bushes, and when I fix that grass back there, we can add a few evergreen trees in there. Okay, we'll just call these yeah, we'll call these bushes in here. Okay, they're like, there's a tree out in my yard that it looks like a tree. It's really tall like a tree, but it's more like a bush. And I got to find out what the name of that thing is. Now I'm going to pull underneath these bushes to the left and try and create some hills, more hills. It's going to be full of hills, this painting. Anytime you put a bush up there or a tree, try and get a brush underneath the bottom as soon as you can, okay? When this dries, I'm going to glaze it with yellow, and you're going to see that's going to turn like a really bright green grass in there. And then I'll be able to put an evergreen tree, a few small trees right here. Same thing up here. We'll have the sun coming from the right, hitting down on this grass, okay? I like this bush here in the front. It's pretty much almost dry. We can highlight that pretty soon. I'm going to work on these bushes down here now and just kind of get them darker and make them, I'm running out of sap green color, but let's just give them a little more shape. With your brush, just put a little water on your brush now, get it wet, and let's pull down to the left, create like a little hill in here. We'll highlight that with, we'll glaze this too with yellow when we're done, I think. I kind of like this bush too, the way it's like leaning to the side here. So I'm going to leave it like that. And we'll call these bushes done down here. Maybe I'll add a little yellow ochre in here so you can see the bottoms of the bush. When you do bushes, you can dig. Let me put a little more, some yellow ochre over here. Dig into the bush a little, so it doesn't look like it's just straight, okay? And then pull your ground color out from the bush, just like that. So it just doesn't look like it's going straight across, just like I did on these trees here, okay? It's okay to do it in some places, like I kept this pretty straight here. Let's go into this section up here now. I think it's dry. I'm going to glaze it with just straight yellow, okay? Let me get a flat brush for that. Clean it off pretty good. I'm going to use a number 4 filbert and put yellow up there now. So what I'm going to do is wet the brush and go into my yellow and make it really runny, like ink, okay? And let's just glaze this with that yellow color up here, okay? We'll probably have to put the lines back in, but I want it to look like that's green grass up there. And that look cool? And we'll redraw the lines out in a second. Let's do that over here now with yellow. Just put the yellow underneath the trees and on the grass part. Just to lighten it up down there. Look at that. Wow, I like the way this yellow ochre looks. I'm going to put a little of that, what I got in my brush down in here. Doesn't that look cool? So far, where are we at now? Oh, my camera's moving. Wow. There we go. Doesn't that look cool so far? 21 minutes. Designed that whole thing. I mean, I could paint this for another hour if I wanted to. I'll probably go another 5 minutes and then you guys can, I would suggest painting like this. It's really fun, you know. Now the clouds up here, I just put a few up here. Use a small brush and just kind of stamp in some white color here. It's a little different than the way I do with oil. I mean, with acrylic, you can really take your time and design the cloud, you know. To wipe your brush off, and I still like to stamp the bottom to get it to blend into the sky. So just stamp in the lower part, help it blend into the sky there. That's all you got to do. I'll do one more cloud up here. So let's do a backwards cloud that looks like it's an upside down cloud. Okay, it'll end up being right here in the foreground. Just stamp in some color, and then now start stamping it backwards into the corner. Let it get lighter and lighter, and let it mix with that blue a little bit if it's still wet. But what this is going to do is going to end up looking like this cloud will be closest in the scene, believe it or not. Because watch, now you can run a cloud from it, and this cloud will look like it's coming from behind this one. Okay, that's the theory anyway. All right, that's enough about the clouds. Just take your time. I usually just stamp in the top part first, and then adjust the bottom part by making it bigger, just like that. You can actually try and blend it too if you want, just like that. Take your time. You can add different color clouds in there too. And when it dries a little bit, you can layer some of these smaller clouds, like put some white across that one so it looks like this is in front of that one. You know what? You know what I mean? Just keep working your clouds. All right, let's go back down to here. I got to do something down here now. So I'm thinking the light would be hitting down here. Let's try and glaze this with that yellow down here real quick. Let's change up the color on this grass and then see what it looks like. I'm going to leave that dark in there. Maybe put some brown, a light brown underneath it. Oh, it looks like dirt. Just to have a different color in there. Let's put yellow ochre on this grass over here. Just put it right over the top of that sap green and brown. If you do it very lightly, then you'll get some different values going on in there, okay? Just try and blend it in with the other color, like glaze it on top of it. Just like that. I really like that. Now if you want to highlight, the sun's coming in from the right here, I'll do it with titanium white. Just concentrate on hitting the top parts of these branches first, just like that. Just imagine where the light's hitting, okay? It's kind of hard to highlight. You got to get used to it. I'm still getting used to doing, big trees. So it just takes practice. That's why I was saying you could get some of that paper and just practice on that acrylic paper till you get good, and then you can start doing it on a canvas. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow down here to brighten up this valley in here. Just play around. That's about all I think I'm going to do on this. You can kind of see what I got going on. I'll do a few things here so you don't forget. Grab a liner brush and make sure you put a few twigs in here, okay? Did I let my liner brush set out? Yeah, it's hard. Oh man, I gotta clean it now. I thought I wiped it off when I left. I went to go do a quick job and it dried up on me. There we go. I just had to wipe it off, but put in some twigs. Just like that. I like to put birds up there, although I'm not done with the sky, but put a few birds up in the scene. And make it lighter back here. Lighter, and then as you come forward it can get darker, okay? It'll look more like a real landscape. And don't forget to highlight some of these trees back here. I would use a small filbert brush, like what I was using here, and just get your brush wet. Maybe use the yellow when you glaze it. Get the yellow very wet like water. And just imagine the sun hitting like the top parts of these trees, okay? You gotta kind of pick it out. It's kind of hard to do, but just imagine the sun's coming down in here, hitting the tops. I'm trying not to put so much because I want to have a lot of trees in there. Something like that. You'll get used to it. Alright, that's about all I'm going to do on this one. I'll give you a front shot there if I can. I think it's coming out pretty good for just on the fly. I'm going to put more clouds, finish it up. Maybe I'll put that on the thumbnail so you'll see the finished product. Alright guys, cheers.